we've got a responsibility to represent this place, and we need to do it better. You know, that's to keep it very blunt. I think as coaches, we need to do our part to help the players, and then obviously we have a handful of players that can play better as well. But yeah, I mean, I think it's part of the job. I mean, I think, and ultimately, I would tell you that whether it's failure or success, you're always managing that part of the job, regardless of where you're at. So I think it's critical that you set the tone from a leadership standpoint. You've got to be a really good example to the players, and you try to keep it technical. You try to make them realize, hey, look, when you do it right, you get a good return. When you make mistakes, when you're playing a really high-quality opponent, the margin of error is small, you get exposed, right? So I think that's the message. It's just like, look, you know, here's the tape. Here's what you need to do better. Here's what we can do better to help you. I mean, I think we got to take all parts of the building have to take ownership. But yeah, I mean, I don't see it. It's part of the job. You know, I would say this: there is no better learning experience than game experience. You know, I mean, there's an old military line like, you know, we can have a lecture about bullets flying, okay, and we can talk about that all for years, but when you're in there and the bullets are flying, I think that's an area where you know, the consequences become real. And I've played on championship teams. I've been a part as a coach on national championship teams, SEC championship teams, conference champions, division champions. And very rarely did we win every single game, you know. And I think ultimately a loss early can be a blessing if you don't waste it. And I think ultimately one thing I can say is we have a group that's working hard. I do think that we have character. We got to go to work on the football part, you know, and I think we got to get more. We got to become a more consistent team, and we have to execute better. And if we can focus on those things and not necessarily what some guy in his basement saying in, you know, rural Central Florida on social media, then we got a chance to get better, right? So I think that's the key, you know. But sometimes you deserve criticism, you know, and I think that's one of those things I would say. I have no excuses, right? So we got to go get it fixed.